Good morning, everyone. How y'all doing today? Well, I seem to be trending on the same thing as Captain Stutzman right now. I just got out of surgery last week and back to work this week in plain clothes on light duty, but duty's never light apparently. Don't have any real trends that I'm aware of. Jonathan, do we got any real things going on in Sun City?
We have one.
Okay. Well, I'll have Jonathan tell you about that, but the only thing that I've been dealing with right now is we had the monitors in last week, as you all know, and they were looking at our stats and looking at how we're doing business and compliance. A lot of it's administrative stuff, so it's keeping me bogged down and getting back on old cases and seeing where they all are and getting out to victims throughout the Sun City West area and other areas in the county that we're responsible for to tell them where their cases are. So you may get a phone call from me if one of your cases is done and you never told about it. These go back about 3 years ago. So these are cases that when they took our detectives from us, that the detective sergeant never got back out to somebody because they weren't reassigned. And now they've been all reassigned to me, all 1,847. Most of them are mostly insurance claims and stuff like that. So luckily there aren't a whole lot of them that are that big of a deal that victims haven't been addressed already. So most of the ones are basically traffic accidents. Thank you. Jonathan, do you have anything yet?
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
So I was just recently informed by one of our deputies of a new scam that we're seeing. So recently, there was some individuals posing as APS employees. They went to a resident's house, said they were with APS and had to check some wiring. The individual let them inside the house. They went through the house. Luckily, nothing was stolen. They contacted APS and they realized this was a fraud person. So just be very vigilant, mindful. If someone comes to your house saying that they're with an organization or even with the sheriff's office, if they're not in uniform, ask for ID, look at the ID, and if you need to, call dispatch, call the organization, confirm that that person is who they're with, because that could have turned into something really bad. Luckily it didn't. But that's what we're kind of seeing there. So just be mindful, vigilant, and we should be good to go.
If you're asking for ID from a sheriff's deputy or even from the sheriff's posse, they'll have an ID that has their picture on it. On the back of it will have their information and the signature of the sheriff. Okay? These are very hard to get a hold of. Once we are done with this ID, they literally punch a hole in it and take it back from us. So, and then they give us a new one. Make sure you're looking for this. This is our ID, not the badge on our chest. This is our ID, okay?
And that's all I have. Thank you.
Chief Rob Schmitz, do you have something for us?
Sure. I think I always would be checking your ID if I could anyway, but I'm glad to not see you in the vest. You're not as big a guy as I thought you were. I can't wait to see Stutzman without his vest on. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Commander, members of the board. I don't have a lot this month. I can tell you though that it is starting to, if you look at the 10-day forecast, we're starting to see some mid-80s come up. And so if we start to see that heat come, I just remind everyone to drink lots of water. So we see a lot of dehydration calls this time of year. People don't realize it's still cool in the morning, but in the afternoon you're going up to do some yard work. And we see time and time again, folks just get behind on that water intake. They're like, well, I don't want to go pee 7 times, so I'm on Lasix, but I get it. Still just hydrate. So it's a dry desert that we live in. We are starting our budget process for the fire department right now, so we're just starting to crunch numbers. We did get some net assessed value back, and we did see a considerable amount of growth for us this year, which is good news. We're seeing 6.1% increase to the net assessed value, which will help bring in some additional revenue dollars if we keep the tax rate cap at the same number. They're going to lower the commercial rate cap this year, which in turn they've allowed us to increase the residential rate cap, which could give us some additional capacity. something that legislation passed last year for the fire districts across our state of Arizona. So, but yes, we'll have some tentative things to the board in April to review what we proposed for the budget. The board would tentatively adopt that budget in May and then finalize the budget in June. There's that time period between May and June at 30 days that the public can have the public comment. Year and year and year again, I get no comments, so we must be doing a good job. So, and actually nobody comes to my meetings, so it's always the fourth Tuesday at 9:30 if anybody wants to come and check out a riveting fire board meeting. We'll see you there, but be safe. And any questions at all for the fire department? Yes, sir.
Any comments about the new fire engine? $1 million fire engine?
So I could, yeah, so I know that Scott did an article recently in the Independent. I can tell you that we, the inflation, right? So our last fire truck that we ordered was $516,000. We ordered it, that was June of 2021, and they gave us a 12 to 14 month build time at that point in time. This last one that we just ordered was 2.5 years later, was $906,000. It went up 83 some thousand dollars, 74.48% increase in 2.5 years, and the build time is 40 to 42 months now.
Same type of
Exact
engine?
same truck, nothing's changed. So they're blaming, truck manufacturers are blaming labor costs, steel costs. Of course, when you buy a fire truck, there's several different vendors that build this fire truck as in parts, right? The Cummins for the engine, Allison for the transmission, Meritus for the axles. I could go on and on and on. Bostrom for the seats. So there's several other parts, but everybody seemed to raise these prices up. And then with all that COVID money that all the cities and towns across our country have seen, we just see a giant influx of orders. So I think that's part of the cost increase as well. So the good part about the order is it's a commitment to buy. You don't actually put any money up front. So we do have a little trigger to be able to, if there's some deflation there and prices drop, that's what I'm looking at. Can we do something to, reverse that, or say, hey, we're gonna take the next order, or, I just got a feeling they're gonna come back down personally. But then, my resource chief thinks they're going to continue to go up. So, but I think we're seeing a little cool down too if you look at the regular new car market for cars and trucks as well. So I hope they go back down. I don't think they'll ever go back down to the 500,000 range, but we're seeing 900. A lot of manufacturers at $1 million now for a new fire truck. So, yeah. Any other questions for our fire department? Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.